Boxing King Media in association with boxer promoter Jermaine Franklin, Dmitry Salita. Welcome to the UK. You're doing more trips to the UK than any American promoter at the moment.
That is, I hope that is true. You know, when I was coming on the plane here, I was thinking to myself, man, how many times have I come here in the last 12 months? And I think I counted 7. And they've all been about a week long. So I spent about almost 2 months in the UK in the last year. So it's pretty awesome.
Well, it's great to have you, and it's great that you're making fights with British fighters. So that's what we want to see. We want to see the challenge of the Americans coming across. Before we talk,
I want to add, the great thing is that we're working with different promoters, like with Matchroom and with Boxer and with Sky and with The Zone. So the boxing has to be inclusive, not exclusive. And the fighters benefit and the fans benefit that way.
100%. Before we talk about the fight, the first thing I want to speak about, I want to get the negative stuff out the way. Obviously, you will have seen it. It was reported in the British newspapers that your fighter Jermaine Franklin is issued you for a lawsuit because he feels like there's something not right with his contract. Obviously, you guys were on the stage together today, so there's nothing awkward. So just tell us, from your point of view, how has that come about?
I find it strange that I was not notified about this lawsuit by Jermaine's team, and I found out about it from a news reporter and the week of the fight. And this is an enormous opportunity for Jermaine, as was an opportunity with Dillian White, as was all the opportunities that Jermaine has had with me, starting from his first fight. That was his first fight on television, multiples of a career high payday. This is multiples of a career high payday. Last fight was a career high payday. So I feel that a lot of fighters would love to be in this position. And there was a lot of competition for fighters to be in this position. As you know, even several names were announced. But at the end of the day, it is Jermaine that finally got this fight and got this opportunity. And I'm very grateful and honored and proud of the work that we have done for Jermaine. So to get this lawsuit, I really felt that I would get a thank you card. But to get this lawsuit is very surprising and personally difficult. But it is what it is.
I know you can't go too much on about the lawsuit, but one of the things he said in the article was that he felt that you pushed the Otto Wallin to fight Anthony Joshua, not him. That's one of his slight beefs that he mentioned in there. Is there any truth to that?
Well, I'm going to ask you, what did Eddie just say at the press conference?
You promised. I don't know if that's interesting you mentioned that, because is that on the back end of that, what's mentioned in that lawsuit? Because you asked Eddie after the Dillian White fight to give Jermaine another opportunity and to give him the AJ fight, and obviously we're now here.
So there you go. That answers the question, no? So let me tell you, there's fighters, there's promoters. Every major promoter represents many fighters in competitive weight classes. So I'm blessed to have many heavyweights many heavyweights on the same level. So, and I have a responsibility to each one of them. And one does not get hurt if the other one benefits. And what I do with Otto Wallin is private and has to do with Otto Wallin in terms of my relationship with Jermaine. And what I do with Jermaine is private and has nothing to do with Otto Wallin. So, and I have equal amount of respect and recognition for both. Jermaine was the guy that was gonna get this fight, and he got this fight, and that's the fact that there were articles promoting Otto Wallin and linking his name to Anthony Joshua was good for Otto, but Jermaine's fight was the fight that was being negotiated and finally got done.
And the last question on this, obviously today would have been the first time you've seen each other face to face since that lawsuit came out. Are you guys talking to each other? Is there any awkwardness? What's the situation in regards to that?
I mean, look, I believe in honest communication and the truth. I've approached Jermaine's management, who knew about the lawsuit, and asked them, how come you didn't notify me or that you were doing this, and many follow-up questions. And to many of them, they did not have an answer to. And really, in my opinion, the timing of it, to put this unnecessary pressure on Jermaine, because I'm sure it's not comfortable for him as well to think about this, to be asked these questions. I mean, the lawsuit is frivolous and has no grounds. But whatever, be that as it may, to file it the week of the fight, to me, it doesn't make any sense. And to shift the focus from Jermaine, from the fact that he lost 25 pounds and is in great shape, and to see the score a big upset, to shift that focus, to me, is not a wise move for Jermaine's benefit. And I'm sorry for myself that I have to be in this position answering questions about a lawsuit, that I did nothing to deserve.
I won't ask you anything else on that, Dmitry. I genuinely appreciate you answering.
I have no problem answering the question. It's not you, obviously. I'm just saying the fact that this situation is upon us when this guy's fighting the biggest fight of his career in a couple of days is unusual.
Well, I appreciate you answering the questions. You didn't stop me from asking you nothing, and you didn't tell me to leave anything out, so I appreciate that, just for the fans, to let them know. The only question I've got for you on the actual fight in itself is, Jermaine's lost 20 pounds. Some people are saying that could be a bad move.
Well, I believe that I went to see Jermaine train a couple of weeks ago, which is another kind of another questionable decision that happened a couple of days ago. Back to you with the questions. But Jermaine looked fantastic. He was working hard. He's eating good. He's eating healthy. I believe the weight came off because it came off, not because he's trying to make weight to weigh in at a certain weight for a fight. It's just coming off because of his work, because of the fact that he stayed in the gym, and how focused he's been on this fight. So Jermaine is here to score the victory. He's here to show that new dawn is here, and that new dawn is Jermaine Franklin.
Interesting stuff. And then I just want to ask you about Claressa Shields. We've been told or made aware that there's an offer gone into Tasha Jonas, but Tasha is saying it's not enough.
As Don King used to say, there's 99 ways to say no and only one way to say yes. From what I understand, Natasha was offered career high payday, and I get it. She doesn't want to fight Claressa. I mean, I understand. At some point, possibly it'll happen. I think it's a big fight for boxing, and Natasha is a good fighter. I think she's a gentle soul and a nice person, and I like her. Claressa wants to test herself and fight the very best, and that was a big fight to make. When I signed with Claressa signed with me. She said, Dmitry, make the biggest and the best fight. So every fight, my goal is to make the biggest and the best fight, because it is Claressa that has pushed the women's boxing and changed the face of boxing. There's other great champions that have great stories, that can fight, but Claressa Shields is the driving force behind the growth of women's boxing and behind the pay that women are getting.
Well, on that note, I've got one question I've got for you. It was reported that the Terry Harper fight was offered to Tasha Jonas for, I think the reported figure was 400,000. Was she offered more than that? Are you able to say?
I don't have the liberty to comment on the actual numbers, but yes, she was offered a lot of money.
Is that fight closed now? Is there any recovery?
I don't think that Claressa's next fight is going to be against Tasha Jonas, but we do want to explore it later in the year, and we're working on something very special for Claressa. You know, Claressa, since the beginning of her career, she's the first woman in the United States to ever fight, to be a main event on premium cable network television, which was on Showtime. First woman to fight at MGM Detroit, which is a beautiful venue in the city of Detroit. First woman to do so many things. First two-time Olympic gold medalist from the United States, men or women. So just incredibly accomplished in every way, and did many firsts. So we're working on another incredible first, and big news is coming soon.
Could it be Savannah Marshall rematch?
You'll hear about it soon.
That's the feeling I'm getting. Dimitris, Salita, appreciate.
I want to tell you this: wherever the fight is, I hope that you're going to come, because it's really going to be a historic event.
I know it's going to be, and I'm going to definitely come. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, man. Okay.